Have you noticed that lately you spend most of your time lying in bed, drained of energy and not really doing much? Do you feel exhausted all the time and struggle to find the motivation to do even simple things? Maybe you've started telling yourself you're just lazy. But the truth is, what looks like laziness on the surface is often something very different. Laziness and burnout actually overlap in a lot of ways, which makes them easy to confuse. Burnout is a state of deep emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress and the feeling that you can't cope anymore. Today, more than ever, it's important to understand what burnout really looks like. So let's break it down. Here are 6 clear signs that what you're dealing with isn't laziness at all, it's burnout. Number 1. You feel disconnected from everything. Do your days feel like they're playing on repeat, as if you're just going through the motions on autopilot? Do you feel strangely detached from yourself, like you're not fully present in your own life? One common but often unrecognized symptom of burnout is depersonalization. People who experience depersonalization, especially those dealing with trauma, often describe a numb, hollow feeling, as if they're watching their life from the outside. They don't feel like themselves anymore. Nothing really grabs their attention, and they're overwhelmed by a sense of helplessness and the feeling that they've lost control over their own lives. Number 2. You weren't always like this, you used to be motivated. Laziness is usually considered a personality trait, and personality traits tend to stay fairly consistent over time. Someone who is truly lazy rarely feels driven to put in effort or push themselves. But if you used to be motivated, disciplined, and even high-achieving, maybe you excelled at work, school, or personal goals, and only recently started feeling drained, indifferent, and unmotivated, that points much more toward burnout. What changed wasn't who you are, but how exhausted you've become. Number 3. You used to feel passionate. One of the biggest differences between burnout and laziness is that burnout steals your passion. People who are burned out often had things they genuinely cared about, hobbies, talents, sports, or their career, but now struggle to feel any interest or enjoyment in them. Burnout can make the things you once loved feel heavy, stressful, or even unbearable. In some cases, you may start to resent them altogether because of how hard you pushed yourself and how far you ran yourself into the ground trying to succeed. Number 4. You've become moody and irritable. Have you noticed that you're more easily annoyed than you used to be? Do small things set you off, even when they never bothered you before? Do your emotions feel harder to control lately, and you're not sure why? Mood swings and irritability are common but often overlooked signs of burnout. When emotional regulation becomes difficult out of nowhere, burnout may be the underlying cause. This is very different from laziness. People who are truly lazy are usually calm, laid back, and largely unaffected by stressors around them. Number 5. You've stopped taking care of yourself. One of the most concerning warning signs of burnout is neglecting basic self-care and pulling away from others. You may notice changes in your eating or sleeping habits. You stop putting effort into your appearance or personal hygiene. Social interactions feel exhausting, so you isolate yourself. Instead, you spend most of your time alone, resting or doing nothing, because even simple tasks feel overwhelming. The key difference here is that this isn't how you've always been, it's something that developed over time. Number 6. The changes didn't happen overnight. And finally, this may be the most important sign of all, burnout develops gradually. It doesn't hit you all at once. Losing motivation, losing interest in things you once loved, feeling disconnected from yourself, withdrawing socially, and neglecting self-care are all part of a slow progression. Many people begin noticing symptoms as early as the second stage, when stress starts building and optimism, motivation, and performance begin to decline. That's why recognizing burnout early is so important. The sooner you spot the signs, the easier it is to get support. Instead of dismissing burnout as laziness, which happens far too often, we need to talk about it, understand it, and take it seriously. This is Unordinary Psychology. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, and hit the bell.